story I'm going to tell you is taken from Great Expectations. It concerns another of those marvelous characters Charles Dickens created. Her name is Miss Havisham, and we are going to see her through the eyes of a small boy in whose life she played a grotesque part. My father's family name being Pirrip, and my Christian name Philip, my infant tongue could make of both names nothing more explicit than Pip. So I called myself Pip and came to be called Pip. My mother and father both being dead, I lived with my sister and her husband, Joe Gargery, the local blacksmith.
Astonishing, Pip. You're quite a scholar.
How do you spell Gargery, Joe?
I don't spell it at all. Here comes your sister and the mare, ringing like a peal of bells.
Now, if this boy ain't grateful this night, he never will be. It's only to be hoped he won't be pampered. But from what I hear, that ain't her line. She knows better. Well, what are you staring at? Is the house afire?
Some individual mentioned something about a she.
Well, she is a she, isn't she? Unless you call Miss Havisham a he.
Miss Havisham?
She wants this boy to go and play there. And he'd better play there, or I'll work him.
Well, to be sure. I wonder how Miss Havisham comes to know about Pip.
Isn't it just barely possible that Uncle Pumblechook is a tenant of hers? And couldn't she then have asked him if he knew of a boy to go out and play there? Oh, look, mussy me, here am I standing talking to you, and Uncle Pumblechook waiting outside and the mare catching cold. Pip, get your hat.
Duly, my sister took me to Miss Havisham's house.
What name?
Gargery. And this is Pip.
So, this is Pip, is it? Come in, Pip. Did you wish to see Miss Havisham?
Yes, Miss Havisham wishes to see me.
But you see, she doesn't. In there.
Who is it?
The Gargery boy, Pip, come to play.
Look at me. You're not afraid of a woman who has never seen the sun since you were born.
No.
Do you know what I touch here?
Yes, ma'am.
What do I touch?
Your heart.
Broken. I'm tired. I need diversion. And I have done with men and women. I have a fancy I want to see some play. There, play. Play, play.
I would if I could, but it's so new here, and so strange, and so fine, and so melancholy.
So melancholy for both of us. Come here, Estella. Your own. One day, my dear, and you will use it well. Let me see you play cards with this boy.
With this boy? Why, he's a common laboring boy.
You can still break his heart.
Come, boy. What do you play, boy? Nothing but beg of my labor, miss.
Beggar him, Estella.
coarse hands he has, and what thick boots.
She says hard things to you. What do you think of her?
I don't like to say.
Tell me in my ear.
I think she's very proud.
Anything else?
I think she's very pretty.
Anything else?
I think I should like to go home now.
And never see her again, though she's so pretty.
I'm not sure that I shouldn't like to see her again, but I should like to go home now.
You shall go soon. Play the game out.
As she showed me out, I felt as if I were a dog in disgrace. She made me feel so spurned and humiliated.
Why don't you cry? Because I don't want to. You do, and you're nearly crying now. Go, boy. Go along.
As I walked home, I grew more and more dissatisfied with what I was. And it was while I was thus fired with a new resolution to improve myself that I encountered Biddy, the daughter of the local schoolmaster.
Hello, Pip. So you've been to Miss Havisham's? Yes. I heard about it from your Uncle Pumblechook. How did you get on? All right, I suppose. Biddy, how do you manage it? Either I'm very stupid, or you're very clever.
What is it I manage?
You always know your lessons. No matter how much I study, I never know them as well as you.
I suppose I must catch it, like a cough.
Biddy, I'm serious. Would you help me? Help me to do better?
Why, of course, Pip. I'd be glad to. What suddenly made you want to become a scholar?
I don't know. It's just that
Why, Pip, what's the matter?
I don't know. I tell you, I don't know. It's just that I wish my boots weren't so thick and my hands so coarse.
On the appointed day, I returned to Miss Havisham, and my hesitating ring at the gate brought out Estella. On this occasion, there were visitors waiting in the hall. I later learned they were relations of Miss Havisham who hoped to inherit her wealth.
Why does she keep us waiting here? Yes, why doesn't she send for us?
She will send for you when she wants to see you.
You can fetch the others. This is where I shall be laid when I'm dead. They will come and look at me here. Do you know what that is?
I can't guess what it is, Mum.
It's a great cake. A bride's cake. Mine! Come, walk me, walk me.
Dear Miss Havisham, how well you look.
I do not set a pocket. I'm yellow skin and bone.
How can she be expected to look well, poor thing? The idea.
And how are you?
Thank you, Miss Havisham. I'm as well as can be expected.
Why, what's the matter with you?
Oh, nothing worth mentioning. But I habitually think more of you in the night than I'm quite equal to.
Then don't think of me.
Very easily said. Thinking is easy enough. It's all very true. It's a weakness to be so affectionate. But I can't help it. There's Matthew. Never comes to see how his sister is. I have taken to the sofa and lain there for hours with my head down and my feet I don't know where, on account of Matthew's inexplicable conduct.
My brother will come and see me when at last I am laid on that table. That will be his place. There, at my head. And you will be there, Carmela, and Sarah Pocket there. So you all know where to take your stations when the time comes. Now go. Walk me, walk me.
I suppose there's nothing to be done but comply and depart. I suppose it's something to have seen the object of one's love and duty, even for so short a time. Bless you, Miss Havisham, dear.
This is my birthday, Pip.
In that case, I wish you many of them.
I don't suffer anyone to speak of it. They all come here on this day, but they dare not refer to it. On this day of the year, long before you were born, this heap of decay was brought here. When they lay me dead in my bride's dress on the bride's table, which shall be done, and it will be the final curse upon him. So much the better if it is done on this day. Take him away.
That day, as I left the house, I encountered yet another of Miss Havisham's relations, young Herbert Pocket.
Hello, young fellow. Hello. Who let you in? Miss Estella. Come and fight, then. Stop a minute, though. I ought to give you a reason for fighting.
Ah, would you?
Throw up the sponge. You've won. Can I help you? No, thank you. Good afternoon. Same to you. Thank you very much. Boy? Come here, boy. You may kiss me if you like.
So Miss Havisham's cruel plan had succeeded. Young as he was, Pip was already in love with Estella, and was to grow more deeply so as his visits to her became a regular occurrence, as Pip himself tells us. Estella was always about and always let me in and out, but she never told me I might kiss her again. Sometimes she would coldly tolerate me, sometimes she would be quite familiar with me, and sometimes she would energetically tell me that she hated me.
You're stupid, boy. It's a waste of time playing cards with you.
Estella, break their hearts, my pride and hope. Break their hearts and have no mercy. She's beautiful, Pip. Do you admire her?
Everyone must who sees her, Miss Havisham.
How does she use you? If she favors you, love her. If she tears your heart to pieces, and as it grows older, it will tear deeper, love her. Love her. Love her. Hear me, Pip. I bred and educated her to be loved. I developed her into what she is, that she might be loved. Love her. I'll tell you what real love is. It is blind devotion, unquestioning self-humiliation, utter submission, giving your whole heart and soul to the smiter, as I did.
Well, what kept you so long?
Miss Havisham.
Indeed, why?
She wants to see Joe. She wants him to bring round dentures for apprenticeship.
Oh, she does she? And did she say anything about me?
No.
Oh. And when does she expect him to go running up there?
She said as soon as possible.
Oh, I suppose I better go then.
Oh, just like you, letting everybody treat you as a doormat.
I'm sure she didn't.
You be quiet.
Oh, I suppose I better go and...
Oh, go along, both of you. Get on.
So you are the husband of this boy's sister. You are the husband of this boy's sister.
What I mean to say, Pip, is, as I up and married your sister, and I were at the time what you might call, if you was any ways inclined, a single man.
And you have reared the boy with the intention of taking him as your apprentice. Is that so, Mr. Gargery?
You know, Pip, it were looked forward to betwixt us. Not but what, Pip, if you've ever made objections, they would have been attended to.
Has the boy ever made any objections?
You know yourself, Pip, it were the wish of your own heart.
Have you brought his papers with you?
You yourself, Pip, saw me put them in my hat. Therefore, you know that they're here.
You expected no premium with the boy.
Pip, you know the answer full well. You know it to be no, Pip, and wherefore should I say it?
Pip has earned a premium here. There are 25 guineas in this bag. Give them to your master, Pip.
This is very liberal on your part, Pip, and is as such received and welcome, though never looked for far nor near nor nowheres. And now, old chap, may we do our duty. May you and me do our duty by one another and by them, with your liberal present, have conveyed to be for the satisfaction of mind of them as never, and for myself far be it. And for myself far be it.
Goodbye, Pip. Let them out, Estella.
Am I to come again, Miss Havisham?
No. Gargery is your master now. Henceforward you are bound to him.
It was the following Sunday after church that I went for a walk with Biddy.
If I tell you something, Biddy, will you promise to keep it a secret?
Why, of course, Pip.
Biddy, I want to be a gentleman.
I wouldn't if I was you.
I don't think it would answer. I can never be anything but miserable unless I can be a gentleman.
That's a pity.
If I could have been half as fond of the forge as I was when I was little, I know it would have been much better for me. I might even have grown up to keep company with you. I should have been good enough for you, shouldn't I, Biddy?
Yes. I'm not over particular.
Would never have mattered my being coarse and common if nobody had told me so.
That wasn't a true nor polite thing to say. Who said it?
The beautiful young lady at Miss Havisham's. And she's more beautiful than anybody ever was. And I admire her dreadfully. And I want to be a gentleman on her account.
I'm glad that you gave me your confidence, Pip. And you know that you may depend upon my keeping it. Come on. We go home.
Joe, don't you think I ought to pay Miss Havisham a visit?
Well, Pip, what for?
What for, Joe? What are any visits for?
There are some visits, perhaps as forever remains open to question, Pip. And in regards to visiting Miss Havisham, she might think you expected something of her.
Don't you think that I might say that I did not, Joe?
You might, old chap, and she might credit it. Similarly, she might not.
But, Joe,
Yes, old chap?
since the day of my being bound to you, I've never thanked Miss Havisham or shown that I remember her.
Now, that's true, Pip. And unless you wants to turn her out a set of 4 horseshoes, which might not be so acceptable as a present in a total vacancy of hooves,
I don't mean that sort of a remembrance, Joe.
you can make her a gridiron to cook her sprats on.
I don't mean any presents at all, Joe. But if you'd give me a half holiday tomorrow, I think I'd go and make a call on Miss Esther Havisham.
Her name ain't Esther Havisham, Pip, unless she's been rechristened.
I know, Joe. It was just a slip of my mind. What do you think of it, Joe?
Oh, I think it might be all right, Pip, if you tell her your visit is just a visit. To thank her by doing handsome by you, and not in any ways of expecting anything further.
Then I'll go tomorrow, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
You here again? What do you want?
I've only come to see how Miss Havisham is.
Oh, have you? Oh. Oh, very well then. Come along.
And what wind brings you here, Pip?
I came to see you, Miss Havisham.
Well, I hope you want nothing. You'll get nothing.
No, indeed, Miss Havisham. I only wanted you to know that I'm doing very well in my apprenticeship, and I'm always much obliged to you.
Well, well, come now and then. Come on your birthday. Looking around for Estella, eh?
I hope she's well.
She's gone abroad, educating to be a lady, far out of reach, prettier than ever, admired by all who see her. Do you feel that you have lost her? Do you feel now that you have lost her, Pip? When she returns, she'll be a fine lady. A fine lady, Pip. Then what do you suppose she'll think of you? A rough, coarse boy working in a dirty forge. What do you suppose she'll think then? So whether she's away or here, she's lost to you, Pip. Lost! Lost!
What I most dreaded was that in some unlucky hour, I, being at my grimiest and commonest, should lift up my eyes and see Estella looking in at one of the windows. I was haunted by the fear that she would sooner or later find me out with a black face and hands, and would exult over me and despise me. Often after dark, I would think of Miss Havisham alone in those candlelit rooms, the moldering bride cake on the table. Miss Havisham, for whom on that morning long ago, time had stopped at 20 minutes to 9. Pip did see Estella again, but not in Joe Gargery's forge. Years later, she nearly broke his heart, as Miss Havisham intended.